Hello, everyone. My name is Mann. I will be discussing the relationship between stress on first-year college students and their academic performance. Many college students experience increased stress during their first year due to environmental changes and academic pressure. Research has also discovered that the highest rates of dropouts occur within the first academic year. Stress is defined by the American Psychological Association as the psychological or biological response to internal or external stressors. Stress can affect a person's mental and physical health and influence their behavior. It can affect relationships, careers, academic performance, and other important aspects of an individual's life. This study focuses on understanding if there is a statistically significant relationship between stress and academic performance. Primary argument or hypothesis is that first-year college students who experience high stress levels will have lower grade point averages. Throughout this presentation, we will test this hypothesis and answer the following questions. Is there a correlation between a person's stress and their academic success? Is the relationship statistically significant? The phrase statistically significant means that the result is unlikely to have occurred by chance alone and suggests that a real relationship exists. In their article, Psychological Distress, Burnout, and Academic Performance in First-Year College Students, Dechanu has studied stress as a primary reason for the decline in students' academic success. Stress levels were gathered using a brief symptom inventory, or the PSY693 questionnaire, a short self-attested inventory of psychological symptoms. The BSI consists of 18 items on 3 subscales: somatization, anxiety, and depression. Burnout was also measured using a Maslach Burnout Inventory Student Survey, or the MBISS, which consists of 15 questions related to 3 dimensions of burnout. Both sets of scores were then compared to each student's grades for the first semester, obtained through their academic records. The average of their semester's grades was converted to a 10-point scale with a passing score identified at 5 points. The results revealed that of the students who could be classified as significantly stressed or psychologically distressed, their grade averages were lower than students who were either moderately stressed or not stressed. Fraser et al. Discussed the psychological effects of stress and academic performance in their article, Understanding Stress as an Impediment to Academic Performance. The process here involved an online survey that included student participants from 20 Midwestern universities. The survey was direct in asking the students what life factors they thought affected their academic performance. Their answers were then compared to their grade point average. The results revealed that opinions were divided almost equally between stress, sleep difficulties, and poor mental health. While the data showed that there was no statistically significant relationship between stress and academic performance, the researchers also explained that there were faults in the presented categories. One issue the researchers overlooked is that sleep difficulties and poor mental health are also symptoms of stress. Considering this, the results can be easily misinterpreted. First-year college students were received at random to participate in this study. The goal was to gather a diverse range of individuals living on or off campus. Each participant attended Grand Canyon University, and the study was advertised in communal areas on campus grounds. The only limiting factor to participate was that this must be their first academic year enrolled in college. The subject volunteered at their own free will and were not asked to participate in the research. Each student signed an informed consent form which highlighted the purpose of the study and what personal information would be collected from them. This form also included an explanation of how their personal information would be stored and protected. For those choosing to leave the study, their information would be destroyed immediately after confirmation of their withdrawal. Providing this information is highly recommended by the Code of Ethics for Psychologists, highlighted in the American Psychological Association. Compensation was then paid in the form of a $25 gift card to Trader Joe's for each trial completed, with 2 trials being the max. The study utilized surveys as a method to collect most of the data. Surveys consist of a series of questions intended for an individual or group to answer. These questions can be filled out on paper independently by the participant or answered orally and recorded by the researcher. In this case, the participants filled out their surveys independently and returned them to the research team. The students were requested to fill out a perceived stress scale. The perceived stress scale is an assessment used to measure individual stress levels. It consists of at least 10 questions that ask the individual to note how often they have felt or thought a certain way, with 0 being never, 1 almost never, 2 sometimes, 3 fairly often, or 4 very often. The final score is totaled and used to understand how stressed the person may be. Those whose scores range from 0 to 13 are considered less stressed. Scores ranging from 14 to 26 mean that the person is moderately stressed. And finally, scores ranging from 27 to 40 would be considered high perceived stress. The students were requested to complete this survey at the beginning and end of the academic year. The students' stress scores were then compared to their GPA at the beginning and end of the academic year. In addition to the informed consent form, the students were asked to sign a separate privacy release so that the research team could access their GPA and include it in their publications. The unofficial transcripts were requested directly from the university. A correlational non-experimental research design was used for this study. A non-experimental research design includes procedures and methods in which the behavior or event is observed without intervention from the researcher. Non-experimental research designs consist of observational methods, like surveys. The first-year college students were observed by measuring their stress levels and GPAs. The data was then analyzed using the Pearson correlation coefficient. Pearson correlation coefficient measures the strength and direction of a linear relationship between two variables. The data is then measured on a ratio or interval scale. The correlation R measures the extent to which X and Y interact with each other, or the level to which they may vary. In this case, the stress levels are the independent variable, X, and grade point average is the dependent variable, Y. The null hypothesis is that stress levels do not affect GPAs. As you'll see in figure 1 on the next slide, the p-value of 0.001 is less than the significance level of 0.05. This means that the results are statistically significant, representing the correlational relationship between the variables. P-value is the probability of observing a correlation. As seen in figure 1, the p-value of 0.001 is less than the significance level of 0.05. This means that the results are statistically significant and represent a correlational relationship between the variables. In this case, the null hypothesis is rejected. There is reason to believe that a student's stress levels can impact their academic performance and grade point average. Some limitations to the study were revealed during the analysis, one of them being the sample size. It would be beneficial to repeat this study on a larger scale to increase the sample size and diversity of participants. In addition to this, future studies may include other variables like resources offered for stress management and how they may change the outcome of the survey responses. Repeating studies and experiments are useful in working through these limitations and can reveal biased perspectives from the original study. To conclude, stress can affect an individual's ability to mentally and physically function to their full potential. While the study conducted at the university showed that there is a correlation between first-year college students' stress levels and their academic performance, this does not imply causation. Other factors that encompass an individual's stress could play a role in the root cause of the decline in their GPA. It's safe to say that additional studies and experiments are required to guarantee the significance of the relationship.